Hi guys, hope all is well. Welcome back to another P3D version 5 video. This one is a tad bit different than other ones I've done since we're starting right in the middle of a flight. I've done a long haul all the way from Heathrow to Los Angeles. And we're now somewhere around Utah, I think. Let me just check. I think we're around Utah because I have this weird area here that's not photoreal. It's because of my freeware Utah. Probably gonna get the mega scenery one at some point, so I don't have that. But I do think that's the reason why I have, that's the reason why I think we're around above Utah. And we're flying the 747-400 with the old CRT screens and the old kind of setup here with the altitude and all this the autopilot panel. I was hoping to do the departure as well, but then I wasn't sure if I was gonna do a video about it. I wasn't sure if I would have time, so I forgot about it, so I didn't do that, unfortunately. So you're just gonna be able to see the landing this time around. And we're flying today, which I guess also good to point out, with Airwego, so another one of my fictional airlines, which do still fly the 747-400. I know it's not that popular with the virtual airlines, but or maybe the cargo version is quite popular, but not the passenger version. And I guess because there's not that many 747-400 still flying out there. Talking about that, actually, how many are still flying out there? And I think this is the extended range one, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. In limited passenger service, current operators. Okay, let's see. So there's the 100 still has someone, the SB, the 200. Damn, there's the 200 is still being used. That's crazy. The 300, only one cargo, and the 400. Still seems to be used by, for example, Lufthansa. But aren't they putting them out of service? Maybe that's... I think so. Let me see. I also think a Russian airline seems to still be using them. Rossaya, or it's supposed to be retired. But let's see. I guess Lufthansa has a lot of the 747-800s as well. To be retired by 2028. Okay, so it's a long time since till the 747-400 will be retired. As you can also notice, I've gone back to the 2D clouds just because I kind of like this more variety that you get with them. They're not perfect in any means or way. They do look a bit... I mean, the shadowing works relatively well. You can see the cloud shadows, so that's not a problem, but their own colors sometimes look a bit off. It doesn't mesh with the world as good as the volumetric ones. Ew. But on the other hand, they do kind of look like real world clouds in the sense that they have all these different features, and none of them look kind of similar. So I just got tired of looking at the volumetric ones who kind of look the same, and then you never got like these smooth transitions, right, with the weather. But let's see. I think we will be descending in about 320 nautical miles. So we still have quite a bit of ways to go. I've been mainly now checking my fuel. The reason why I did one of these long flights was to kind of do the fuel management. I don't I'm not sure. I think I have it set up right now, but I'm not 100% sure. I think we have the fuel is now, maybe I closed it now, but it's now in the main 2 and the main 3, and they're basically providing to the 4th, the 3rd, the 2nd and the 1st engines. So it should all be set up correctly. So you have to do some fuel what would you call it, some fuel management with the 400. I think at least there is some different, let me zoom in, I'll use, I think there's some different here at the PMDG setup with the terms of the aircraft. Maybe it's the equipment, right? But I think you can change, I'm not 100% sure. Update original, maybe you can't change on the 400 ER model. Stabilization tank, fuel ballast system. So you can do some tweaks to it, which is pretty cool. Or tweaks, but you can kind of decide what setup you want. But yeah, in terms of fuel, because I've been following this quite closely, which is something I recommend if you want to do long haul and you're doing it with one of these more modern ones. And I do consider the 400 a more modern airplane, because it's basically, you know, the very nice kind of displays, and you have the FMC, you know, it kind of flies itself. But the fuel thing is worth to keep in mind, right? Because I do think they in real life as well, right? They do this kind of checks, right? So estimated fuel on board and then verify it. And the reason why it's been interesting this flight is we are now reaching the point called prompt, and we're at around 32. And if I now go to my this one, it says we're supposed to be at 38. So for some reason we've been burning a lot more fuel, and this could happen to for a multitude of reasons, right? Winds, that sort of things. So, and we should be landing with, we should have around 25 at LAX left. And if we go here and look, I'm just going to show you, we're very much lower, we're at 18. It's fine, it's still within our, I think our like final reserve is 10. But of course these are things to consider if, you know, you do get into problems in that regard, since you do, you know, might have to check out alternate airports or similar. So just FYI on that. I do wonder though why there is so much of this land class scenery here. 'Cause I'm pretty sure we are over Utah. Maybe it's just a bad, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to buy the mega scenery one at some point. I know FS Scenery is having a sale as well with their so FS Scenery is this website that sells photoreal and autogen. They're pretty good. They do really well with their photoreal, and they've been improving on their autogen as well. So I'm a big supporter of FS Scenery in that regard. They are releasing new, I think they released Philippines recently. Some of theirs already have from the freeware one. I'm wondering though which one I would want to get now in terms of areas. Here you can see their map, right? What they have covered. They're gonna cover everything, right? That's the, this is being work in progress. New Guinea, that's gonna be really cool. I mean, now in hindsight I'm like, maybe I should have got it for Australia, even though I kind of like the land class when I go down low. I don't want to buy, you know, photoreal for areas where I already have pretty good, like the regional land class, like Ireland for example. But of course, if you are a stickler for, you know, wanting photoreal, you should get this. Belarus is also on my wish list. So let's see. But for example, if you are buying all of North and Central America, it's $265. And now it's on discount, right? Pretty good discounts as well. They are in pretty kind of detailed lot though, so they do use quite a bit of of your storage, right? So that's the only, I would say, negative part in that regard. But that's fine, you know, because if you can just get more storage, you'll be fine. And they do have autogen updates, which you can see here, right? So you can upgrade with new autogen, and they have they even have winter textures, which I'll give them is a huge thing, right? That really makes it like a no-brainer. Check actually, do they have anything? So I have Sweden and Finland from them. Oh, they're really cheap now. Belarus would be nice to have. So yeah, I can really recommend them in terms of that, because they do make very good photoreal. Sorry about that, me jumping here trying to see if I'm gonna purchase one of these. Maryland is another one I was thinking of getting. Looks pretty good, right? But yeah, I can totally recommend them. I really like Finland and Sweden apart from the autogen, but they promised updates. So let's see if that arrives, because then that's gonna be amazing. And I still need to increase my photoreal in the US to be. That's why I'm not sure if Belarus would be the one to purchase now. I only have like northeastern US, and then I have like western US, so there's a gap in between. How does it look in the sim? Looks pretty good. About 200 left before top of descent, so we have ample time. And we're landing on runway, let me check actually so I don't say wrong, 25 or 24? 25 left, yeah. Which I think is correct, right? Because I think they take off from 25 right and land on the left one, yeah. No, yeah, exactly. Take off from right and land on 25 left. Ah. I do have a lot of airports actually now when I'm thinking about it. Looking at the US, I have around Washington, I have Dulles, National. I have a lot of like small ones that came with the DD scenery. I don't have the Baltimore one though. They have a pretty good one, Latin VFR, the Baltimore Washington International. So that's something to also consider. Let me see. I think I put on the Yeah, the TFC is on, no weather radar. Maybe we could keep this one on terrain. Let's have a look. And here once again you can really see the difference. In that sense I don't mind too much flying over this area because it really showcases why you would want photoreal. So to our right we have basic US land class, so it's not like the basic Orbex base, it's, you know, the US, so it's a bit more refined, but compare this to photoreal. And I think this is it Nevada or Arizona? I'm trying to think who made it, but as you can see, huge difference. For some reason there's also maybe there's some overlap here with the land class, but yeah, what looks better? I mean, look at the difference. From above, I prefer the left compared to the right. Yeah, it's really not the best, unfortunately. So that's one of the big reasons why I'm a big proponent, or yeah, I would say advocate or proponent, I think you can use for photoreal, because it really enhances your P3D. It's costly though, so keep that in mind. But you can make it yourself as well, I think, with Orto for XP. I think there's a P3D version. I haven't yet done that, but it's also one of the reasons why I've been holding off a bit on buying more photoreal. I've been thinking of, you know, setting that up, generating my own autogen, saving quite a bit of money in the process. But of course then you need to do it right, and then if you have clouds, how to get rid of that, etc, etc. But soon we should be in only photoreal area. I think it's the Grand Canyon we have here to our left. It's a very good livery there, Airwego one, especially on the 747. It's very neat and tidy. In terms of our approach, I haven't yet done any. We don't have any EFB in this one, the old one. So that's something to be aware of. We have this thing you can play around with, but yeah, no EFB. In terms of approach, on 2.5 left, we have a minimum of 304. Let me get this one up. 304, at least according to the chart Fox. So 304 is the barrow. Since you don't have the EFB, you can't do any performance calculations, at least not here. I guess you could get another tool for that. But and you're talking about that, actually, I did find another tool that I thought was kind of interesting. Let me see. Let me see if it's this one. I think it's the topper one. But it seems to be inactive now. But he does seem to have some other products, right? Unfortunately, nothing for the 747 though, but the 767 I was interested in. Yeah, but no clue why it's deactivated, the one that seemed to be the most useful. Doesn't seem like there's been, oh, sorry about that, any new since 2015, right? So that could be it, right? Maybe losing the rights. We have a pretty low speed though, so that should be fine. In terms of our transition, it's 18,000 in the US. Missed approach, we'll climb ahead. And then a bit to the left, right? Then turn left on 236. Yeah. So it should be fine. If anyone has used those topper calculations, feel free to provide some input on those. That would be very interesting to kind of to get some input. Oh yeah, the Discord just opened. I realized I was sending a picture to my friend that I had forgotten to set the packs. So you set the packs here, right, to norm. So I was getting this cabin altitude warnings. Which is of course makes sense, right? Because the cabin is then, as you go up, it's not being pressurized. Quite problematic. So do remember, people, to set your packs. And also to pay attention to your fuel management system. To be frank, that's also a good thing. Let me see if I have any good views that I can. Oh, I just have these two saved. Maybe I can save a new one. Did I disconnect the autopilot? That was not the smartest. Can we get like a nice viewpoint here? Like, where would you put your GoPro if you had one? Maybe a bit closer. Something like that could be cool. And let's see if we can save it now. I was using the cinematics since I did a long haul. Save a new preset. No, but wait a second, I'm gonna do it. Let me save this one first. This is the one I want to have as the one I'm flying with. So we can update this one. We can then, I guess we can just import the preset. We can rename it GoPro. And what we can then do, it's kind of the same, we'll just move it to the kind of GoPro position I wanted it to be on. Around here maybe. Put it down a bit, like that. And then we can update it. And now we should basically have 3 different viewpoints. Yeah. I like chase plane. It's kind of the same as using the numpad in X-Plane, which makes it pretty great. Oh, we were just flying past another aircraft. At exactly the same altitude as well. Totally missed that. But oh well. But yeah, I think we're kind of set up. I don't think there's anything more we need to do. In terms of getting down, I used to have pilot to ADC, but it stopped working. So I now only use it to kind of track where my flight is at. And as you can see, we're coming down here on our path. I don't know why Heathrow doesn't like pilot to ADC, that's been my conclusion. But what I'm gonna do is already prep for the... by just putting this one down. So I'm gonna leave this and let it kind of fly by itself for a while, since it's still quite a bit of time. And then I'll be back in a bit. But hopefully you'll get to enjoy the nice views. Here I think you can see that maybe that's Nevada, right? Maybe this was Arizona. Something of the sort at least. But good. See you in a bit. You are the captain now, is what I meant to say. So do take care of this plane to the best of your knowledge. Well, I guess you really can't since you're watching a recording, but yeah, I'll pray to the flight sim gods so nothing happens. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? Good, we have started descending already. And now we just need to make sure that we are respecting our restrictions. Let me jump back. Yeah, it looks good. Looks very good. I'm guessing we're also now in California already, right? So this is True Earth, brought to you by Orbex. Looking very nice. Oh, we can see the coast already. So we're very close now. We're less than, what is that, 120 nautical miles, right? Yeah, this is going quickly. I think this is actually, and I'm trying to think now, we flew from Heathrow to LA. Or maybe it's not the longest flight I've done. So I did one from Arlanda to Denver. Maybe that was a bit longer. But this might actually be one of my longest long haul flights I've done. I don't do it often, just because, you know, doing one, how long you need to keep your computer on, and then, you know, the amount of, you know, you would put it on before you go to sleep. But then, you know, you're losing, for example, if you need to do fuel management, plus of course, you know, doing long haul, that will keep your computer occupied with it as well. Even if you're doing super long haul, right? The night won't be enough. So it's not my favorite thing to do. I do like it. I do wonder what the future for long haul is. Maybe it's like a fast forward kind of thing. Maybe they already have something like that for the newer Microsofts, but I'm pretty sure that will be the future of long haul. But then again, you're taking away the point of long haul, right? So it's a tricky question. Let's go back to weather radar. This one just shows us a lot of green stuff. Let's check if this one is suggesting something else. It's still going lower and lower with the, because I guess we're losing weight, and we're now at 19.7. Let's have a look at what they're, so at Angeal we'll be at 19.5, and at Angeal we should be and let me see, we should be at 27.3. Yeah, we're not gonna have a lot of fuel once we land. We might even breach our kind of minimum arrival fuel, but let's see. Hopefully it should be sufficient, since we are descending, right? So we're not using that much fuel. I think, at least. Let me have a look if we can see the fuel flow of the different engines. 2.1, 2.1. Not that much, but you know, it's 4 engines. They eat up a lot of fuel, and they eat up a lot of fuel very quickly, right? That's something to keep in mind. Here you can see the trees. Since it's on winter mode, the trees are white, which is a bit funny. I need to remember to set that to summertime, because I do fly mostly with photoreal. But it's nice because I have some photoreal that does do winter time. So I'm not totally against it. Looks very nice. If I was a real pilot, just taking in the views, even though you probably get tired of them after a while, but that would be one of the main benefits. But I guess, you know, flying in the dark, you won't be doing that. But yeah, the view is just spectacular. I mean, I'm just looking at a game, right? The game with some photoreal texture, kind of what's called emulating the real world. But yeah, imagine. And are we? Do we need to slow down? Sorry, I'm just checking here. Now we should be fine. Okay, we should be fine, I hope. Let's keep an eye on if we need to do speed brakes. But yeah, imagine the real world, because the real world has so many variables, right? That's what creates the beauty, so to speak. We need to soon go to the right altimeter setting. I do hope we don't crash with anyone on approach. 1019. So if we do, I need to switch. Oh, sorry. I was looking at the wrong one, right? It's 3015. Wait, was that the one at LAX? 3009, yeah. Well, it's hard to press with this one. 3009. So we have barrel reference set. We don't have any checklist or similar like 777 or the 747-800. You can look here, flap 1, 285. Oh, what's that smoke? We do have the immersion package by Parallel 42. And look at this absolutely humongous city, civilization. Jesus Christ. Just buildings as far as the eyes can see. Maybe even a bit dystopic in a way. Okay, let's get down with the with the range here. And let's keep an eye on if it asks us to. We can look at progression. But I think it should be fine. What's the leg page telling us? It's still saying that we're quite fine. I am gonna go to flap 1. Just because that will, I think, help us a bit to maintain our our descent. And now it did even ask for drag, so and we don't want to go too fast. We're gonna need help to slow down once we get to 10,000 feet, right? What airport is that? It's not Burbank. It's maybe a general aviation one. Burbank is to the right. And look at these hilltops already at their level, kinda. Yeah, that's not the smallest mountains. Yeah, I really like the 400. The 400 and 200, they look really proportionate. The 800 is just a bit too stretched for my my own liking. Let's see. Looking relatively good. We have gone to idle with the thrusts. Let's see, maybe we're so big that we are kind of able to lose a lot of speed just by being a huge drag by ourselves. But then again, I think this is pretty aerodynamically, or I've heard at least, the 747 is quite aerodynamically built. Considering its size of course, but I mean, look at these huge wings and these beautiful engines. The funny part is it almost looks land class because the US is such a like pattern built society in the sense of like you really see it's a US city compared to like some of the European ones that are a bit here and there. Not as, how would you say, urban planned. But I guess also because the US cities are generally newer, right? So they have a more structure to it. And I guess a very big focus on suburbia. I think the US is going through a suburbanization rather than a urbanization, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's see. We should soon reach R, and I think if I go to V now, we should have a speed transition of 240 at 10,000. So we will need to lose some. Let's wait a bit, it's loading now. Soon gonna stop loading. That's the great part about LA coming from this direction, is that you at some point will finally hit the sea, right? So there's no more autogen and stuff to load. If we could just have like a bit better of a computer. I was thinking of getting maybe the 14,900 CPU, maybe squeeze out some bit extra, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. Not for gaming, right? That's the problem. We're talking like a huge extra cost and then like an incremental percentage increase. But maybe for next computer you can really like go full max on all the variables in P3D. Okay, we're now at 10,000 feet. What this means is our landing lights goes on. What's our fuel situation? 18,200. A bit over 20 nautical miles to go. Looks pretty good. What's the... should be at over 9,000. But we should descend a bit at least. Let's see. I'm gonna go and add flaps 5. And actually, thinking about that, what's the ILS? We need to add that, right? Or maybe it's automatic on this one. Let me see. Radios, right? 109.9.251. Yeah, that's correct. That's pretty good. And let me see if we need to make any changes. I don't think so. So what we can do is arm approach. So we have that. We need to be above 8,000. Now I think we're a bit behind the aircraft. I think we can go flaps 10. But let's have a look. So we're kind of going straight, right? So we don't need to turn too much. God, I hate these viewpoints. Need to fix that so it doesn't jump through it, because it's so ugly on the inside, right? Without any cabin. Let me get the normal one. Here we go. But yeah, very nice. I think LA is one of the better looking cities in Orbex Stewart. It's just very nice. They've done a great job on that. Okay, let's see. We should be above 8,000, right? And now it's 7,000. It's still trying to maintain 240, and it's gonna maintain that until Hunda, so for quite a while. So quite a high speed to keep. We've got an FMC message with drag required. And that's fine. I have added, I think, sufficient drag, but let's see. I'm gonna go down now. Still a bit above. I think I've seen the localizer come alive now. Let's remember, I'm going to try to do this visually. I think we will get below this cloud base in just the right time. Oh, did I forget to do that? Let me check, because I was messing around with the fuel system, so I was turning off engines, so we have an engine failure according to this one. We don't have an engine failure, it was just me. No, none of them really turned off, they just kind of went lower, so I'm not sure. But I think PackX kind of picks that up as a failure, which makes sense. But it kind of, you know, in real life, right, you have to communicate with the passenger. They won't know if there's an engine failure, right? So I don't kind of like that automation aspect of PackX in that regard, right? Because if nothing was wrong, right, then you should be able to say that nothing was wrong, but don't have that option. Let's see, runway, can do taxi light as well. Anything else? Don't think so. Just need to remember to turn on the APU before we land. And now we are loading into the airport, so that's why we're having a bit of slowness, I think. The airport slows a bit further out. Plus we're really in this concrete kind of jungle. I mean, look at it. It's just buildings everywhere. And a lot of them. Shit ton of them. We're looking to be on the glide slope and the local, so that's nice to see. Now let me check. We still have about, is it 15 nautical miles? Yeah. I think we'll be slowing down now after Hunda. Let's try to do this manually. I wanted to disconnect that. I think we can. So I want to drop off a bit in terms of speed. Oh, look at that. What's the visibility gonna be here? Oh, damn. 500 feet. That was actually wrong of me to... I think we can go with the auto throttle on. I'll drop the landing gear. Okay, so we might not have very good visibility at all. God damn it. Can you do an auto land with this one? I think so, right? I guess not all air lines installed, but I'm pretty sure it has on the... We're gonna go flaps full already. Now let me think this through. If we're really at the minimums, 304 with an overcast 500 with some clouds at 300 feet. This could be bad actually. I've never done an auto land in this one. Is there something else you need to do? I'm trying to think. Some button. So we have all the APs engaged, so it's not AP related. Sorry about that. Me trying to PMDG B747 auto land. Overheat system 4. That's not good. Damn, it's really overheated. Let's try to land, and then we can try to assess that. I've never seen that. It should be a failure, right? If I'm looking at aircraft, I'm just gonna check. We have no failures, so I'm just overheating it myself. Probably wrong. So we have the hydraulics, right? But we can't turn off that one, or I'm not gonna risk turning it off. And it doesn't seem to have failed on us, even though there is an overheat. But okay, let's pay attention. Can cancel. I don't think you're supposed to auto land with the... let's actually do the speed brake, and we can do the auto brake. Land 3. I think that means we're in for an auto landing, so we should be fine. Let's pay attention now, because we're coming up on our minimums.
25 left.
25. Come on. We pray to God that this is gonna work. Okay, looks good. My controls. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking good. We're a bit high, which is kind of okay, I would say. At least we have the lights here to continue. 100.
50, 30, 20, 10.
There we go. Phew. I hope I didn't flare too much. But let's see. Okay, reverser's fine. We're below 80 knots. We can remove the rest. We can do those off. Then we can turn to the right here.
1,200 meters remaining.
We made it! My god. That's amazing. And we look to be in one piece. This is gonna stat pad my virtual airline, even though it doesn't make a difference on Airwego. At least not. I'm trying to think if they did have ranks. But I can't remember now on the top of my head. Now I'm trying to think though, where should we... We shouldn't have turned to the left, right? We should have turned to the right. So what we can do is actually taxi on this one and then turn to the left. We'll do that. Okay, autopilot disconnected. I wonder about that hydraulic warning though. Let's disconnect those. The flight directors. Let's have a look at the stat, because that should tell us about the APU. Yeah, it's still on. Oh, don't wanna crash into stuff. The only thing that sucks now that I realized that we flew to one of flight FS Dream Team's airport is that they disappear right when you do the replay. So that's a bit annoying. These should go off together with the strobe. But hey, we made it. People, they should be happy. Everything's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, this is your first officer speaking. We'll be arriving shortly. Thank you.
Okay, we'll turn. Forgot, I thought we were at the other side of the airport. We should have turned to the right immediately. That was a bit of a blunder on my behalf. Hopefully no one else is landing. Geronimo. Now, if we would have piloted this, I think we would have gotten clearance. Didn't look like anything was popping up on the TCAS. We should have put on all the landing lights and strobe, of course, since you do want to keep yourself as lit as possible, specifically during these kind of weather conditions, right? It's quite hard to see visually what's going on. Let's see. What's going on with some of these engines, though? I mean, And we got a landing rate of 246, which is pretty good. But why did the engines? Did I blow them somehow? Now I'm very interested. I'm thinking of the hydraulics thing, right? If we overheated that, no errors. Hmm. Guess we can shut them completely in that. Based on that, right? I can put on the APU air. Oh, there we have someone taking off. Thank God we were quick. You can shut the packs, right? God, I need to learn how to use this one. I fly it too rarely. It's a great plane. I mean, it handles majestically. It's fun to fly. There's lots of fun things to learn with it. Actually, let's turn in here, even though we're doing it a bit late. Should be able to make it though. They're a big plane, but not that big. Which one is that? 7.6 maybe? Maybe we can do 7.6. No clue what the terminal is though. Not 4. Maybe 7. There we go. No follow me requested. We can do United, because why not? We'll add a bit of thrust. So I guess we're using the inboard engines now, right? And I do wonder if they in real life also taxi with... If they do taxi to engine taxi, do they only taxi with the inboard or is it the outboards they would use? I'm trying to think, but it makes sense maybe the inboards, but now I'm not sure. What always makes sense might not be what in the end actually makes sense. Okay, let me see here. Where's the 747 parking spot? It's all the way down at the end. Okay, come on. Ah, we can see there, it's telling us 9, 7. Stop. Ah, we're a bit to the... Ah, we're pretty good actually, I think, but... Okay, let's shut down all engines. We have a ride. We can submit our PIREP. Oh, actually, I just realized what we forgot. We need to have the APU gens. That's a bit awkward. Basically shut everything. Okay, we have filed the PIREP. Looks like the systems are going back online after that little blunder. But good. I am gonna close compass. I'll open the door. The only reason I'm doing that is for pack X. But they're deboarding now. I'll save it even though it wasn't really an error. It was also saying 242. So a pretty good landing rate. And here we are with our UK vehicle livery at LAX. Let's have a look at our instant replay. 400 might be enough? Nope. And look at that, was already looking atrocious. Here we go. So as you can see, nasty weather. But this is the sucky part, right? Because now we can see the replay, we don't get the lights, we don't get any of that kind of... what would you call it? Like the extra things. I also noticed here the autogen isn't really here. The way you can fix this It's either by disabling photo reel, but that doesn't always work. My suggestion is to move the AGN files. If you're able to identify which one exactly, move those into the scenery folder of the airport, and they'll load with the photo reel of the airport. That's the best way to kind of fix it, but it's very, yeah, or it's very hard though if you can't identify it then, and then you just move a lot of them, and then you just have a lot of space being taken up by double entries, so to speak. But I've done that a couple of times. But okay, let's see. We can't really decide. I think it was on point. We do, well, maybe don't flare that much. It's quite an okay landing. I'm pretty happy with it. Could have been worse, could have been better. Yeah, LAX decided to disappear on us, but oh well. But yeah, that's the problem with the FS stream teams, which is one of the reasons I do like their airports a lot. LAX, O'Hare, those are my favorites. But I hate that fact, right? And then sometimes they are not activated, so then you're landing basically on that because you know they decide to deactivate. So just a quick kind of you know, be aware. But otherwise, I can thoroughly recommend them because they're really cheap and they provide a lot of like value for money in that sense. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this kind of short, let's call it landing video, approach video, whatever. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Otherwise, let's see if I have time to fly another flight before the 27th. I'm going to India then, and I'll be back on the 13th. But if we don't hear until then, thank you for watching, and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye bye.